Welcome, whoever you are, to Meg's Magical Mansion, a virtual guest house for spiritual wayfarers, a place where the ordinary becomes magical, where wisdom is yours for the asking, and where your higher nature is just a wish away. Thank you for joining us here today at Meg's Magical Mansion. I'm Meg, and this is my beautiful parlor maid, Miss Parfait.
Charmed.
And in my lap is my fluffy assistant, Miss Alice Pooper. We are so glad you joined us here today because we have a very interesting topic. Do you know what our topic is today, Parfait?
I have no idea.
Today we're talking about where science and spirituality meet.
Oh, okay.
Do you know where that is?
Somewhere around 5th and Broadway.
I was going to say in a dark bar, but
Ooh.
anyway.
That sounds like fun too.
Either way. But there is a point where science and spirituality do converge. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about one of my favorite scientists, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, my third husband.
Hey, my third husband.
Oh.
All right, we're going to have a fight out back. Parfait and I, we're going to arm wrestle for Neil deGrasse Tyson, who I think already has a wife of his own, so who cares about it? We do care about his wife. But anyway, stick around. We're going to have fun, and we have a giveaway. Oh my goodness, Alice Pooper's well. I guess that means it's time once again for Words of Wisdom. And today, our words of wisdom have to come to us from who else? Neil deGrasse Tyson. So sit back and relax and let's enjoy our words of wisdom for today.
Recognize that the very molecules that make up your body, the atoms that construct the molecules, are traceable to the crucibles that were once the centers of high-mass stars that exploded their chemically rich guts into the galaxy, enriching pristine gas clouds with the chemistry of life, so that we are all connected to each other biologically, to the earth chemically, and to the rest of the universe atomically. That's kind of cool. That makes me smile, and I actually feel quite large at the end of that. It's not that we are better than the universe. We are part of the universe. We are in the universe, and the universe is in us.
Alice Poopers, did you like that nice quote from Neil deGrasse Tyson? And today our topic is talking about where science and spirituality collide. It's a very interesting topic. I'm sure we're just going to scratch the surface, but we're going to talk about a couple of my favorite people. Of course, Carl Sagan with Cosmos, which led us to Neil deGrasse Tyson, who did the updated version of Cosmos. But it goes on, and there's some interesting people we're going to meet along the way, and I hope you enjoyed today's little discussion on where science and spirituality meet.
What a fascinating topic today. Where science and spirituality meet, where they converge. But we need to remember that science and spirituality traditionally have been somewhat at odds. Let's think back to Galileo back in the 1600s. Galileo was the father of modern science, and because of his own scientific work, he became a champion of Copernicus's heliocentric model of the universe, basically meaning that the Earth was not the center of the heavens. As a matter of fact, those planets were all revolving around the sun. Well, this idea did not sit well with the current Catholic Church of the time, and he was brought before the Roman Inquisition in 1615 for this. And he wrote a very famous letter to Christina of Lorraine, who was the Grand Duchess of Tuscany, laying out his case why a sacred book like the Bible should not be used to try to prove or disprove the scientific truths and facts. You know, the kind of stuff that's measurable or observable. Here is a brief quote from the letter that Galileo wrote to Christina of Lorraine, the Grand Duchess of Tuscany. To the most serene Grand Duchess Mother, some years ago, as your Serene Highness well knows, I discovered in the heavens many things that had not been seen before our own age. The novelty of these things, as well as some consequence which followed from them in contradiction to the physical notions commonly held among academic philosophers, stirred up against me no small number of professors, as if I had placed these things in the sky with my own hands in order to upset nature and overturn the sciences. They seem to forget that the increase of known truths stimulates investigation, establishment, and growth of the arts, not their diminution or destruction. Showing a greater fondness for their own opinions than for truth, they sought to deny and disprove the new things which, if they had cared to look for themselves, their own senses would have demonstrated to them. To this end they hurled various charges and published numerous writings filled with vain arguments. And they made the grave mistake of sprinkling these with passages taken from places in the Bible which they had failed to understand properly and which were ill-suited to their purposes. These men have resolved to fabricate a shield for their fallacies out of the mantle of pretended religion and the authority of the Bible. These they apply with little judgment to the refutation of arguments that they do not understand and have not even listened to. Well, our friend Galileo may have managed to use his friends in power to help keep him out of trouble in 1615. But in 1632, his book, Dialogue Concerning Two Chief World Systems, didn't seem to fare as well for him, and he was tried again by the Inquisition and found vehemently suspect of heresy and was placed under house arrest for the rest of his lifetime. And he was forced to recant a lot of what he said in that book scientifically. So traditionally, we've had a split between spirituality and science, which I can only imagine was probably very difficult for someone like Galileo, who was also a very spiritual person. And there is a place where the two can come together. And nowadays, with things like first the Hubble telescope and then the James Webb telescope, showing us images and things from the universe that we've only been able to imagine up until now, is starting to make it seem a little bit more real. If the awesome power of the universe is God, which it is to me, it just seems like we're finding out more and more and more about that and how we are connected to it and how we are part of it. And I find that all very interesting and fascinating. And I have ever since I was young. Back in 1980, when Carl Sagan came out with Cosmos,
and yet we're related in the most intimate way through their life cycle.
This was the first time I had ever heard anybody speaking about science and spirituality together, intertwined. As a matter of fact, Carl Sagan said, "Science is not only compatible with spirituality, it is a profound source of spirituality. When we recognize our place in an immensity of light years and in the passages of ages, when we grasp the intricacy, beauty, and subtlety of life, then that soaring feeling, that sense of elation and humility combined, is surely spiritual. So are our emotions in the presence of great art or music or literature, or acts of exemplary selflessness, courage such as those of Mahatma Gandhi or Martin Luther King Jr. The notion that science and spirituality are somehow mutually exclusive does a disservice to both." And hearing that kind of talk coming from such a scientifically grounded person as Carl Sagan, who was such a well-known American astronomer, planetary scientist, cosmologist, astrophysicist, astrobiologist, and a science communicator. So to have somebody with this kind of credentials, being a professor at Cornell, where he spent most of his career as the David Duncan Professor of Astronomy and Space Sciences, this kind of a voice speaking about the joining of spirituality and the intermingling of that with science really resonated with me and had a very profound effect on a lot of people. Carl Sagan was the first person to make us all really realize that we are made of the stuff of stars. He said, the nitrogen in our DNA, the calcium in our teeth, the iron in our blood, the carbon in our apple pies, we're all made in the interiors of collapsing stars. We are made of star stuff. And in 2014, Neil deGrasse Tyson brought us a reboot of the Cosmos series. And again, we have another wonderfully famous scientist, educated at Harvard, Columbia, Princeton, University of Texas at Austin, and he is also the director of the Hayden Planetarium and the Rose Center for Earth and Space in New York City. So we have these very, very distinguished scientists coming in and really addressing the idea of where spirituality and science converge and come together. Neil deGrasse Tyson has written and he has spoken extensively on the topic of science and spirituality, as well as many different interviews where he talks about it. Neil deGrasse Tyson said, "For me, when I say spiritual, I'm referring to a feeling you would have that connects you to the universe in a way that may defy its simple vocabulary. We think about the universe as an intellectual playground, which it surely is. But the moment you learn something that touches an emotion, rather than just something intellectual, I would call that a spiritual encounter with the universe." Neil deGrasse Tyson also does not feel that the universe is particularly benevolent, which is why I'm telling you it's always best to try to manifest from a place of neutrality. Because Tyson actually said, every account of a higher power that I've described, of all religions that I've seen, include many statements with regard to the benevolence of that power. When I look at the universe and all the ways the universe wants to kill us, I find it hard to reconcile that with statements of beneficence. And I truly do believe when it comes to manifesting, the universe doesn't judge, it just delivers the goods. So you want to be careful what you're asking for, because you might just get it. Make sure you're putting your intentions out very clearly. The universe isn't thinking good thoughts for you or being benevolent about you. It's just going to give you what you ask for. It's not going to make a judgment. So please, again, be very careful what you are asking for. Because in the end, we are all star stuff. We are all made of the same things that we see up in the heavens every time we lift our heads up. We are made of the same exact stuff. We are the universe, and the universe is us. So please remember that you are a powerful co-creator with the universe. Use your powers wisely and carefully for the benefit of yourself and others. And I hope you have found a way today to help you bridge the gap between your spirituality and the truth and the facts that science brings to us.
So that's a little bit more about that intersection where science and spirituality combine together and create the most fabulous life here on earth you can imagine. You are a co-creator with the universe. And because you are made of the stuff of the universe, you are the universe. Which, think of it, if you use the term God instead of universe, same thing. You are God. You're made of the stuff of God. So please believe in your ability to co-create your own amazing reality here on Earth in this 3D world. And of course, we have a giveaway. We have a $50. I told you they're going to get bigger. We're not going to do giveaways as often, but when we do them, they're going to be a little bigger. So we have a $50 gift card, your choice, Amazon or Visa. And all you have to do to get entered for that is down below in the comments of all of the different scientists and philosophers I mentioned in today's episode. Who really resonated with you and why? So down below in the comments, you're going to tell me which one of today's scientists or philosophers that I mentioned in the episode really resonates with you and why. Or if you have somebody that didn't resonate with you, why? So drop your comment down below, but make sure you let me know which one of those different people I talked about in the episode really was the one that spoke to you. And
I don't know what Meg's doing for the giveaway this week, but I know what I want to throw in. This fabulous t-shirt of Neil deGrasse Tyson. Knowing how to think empowers you. It's a men's medium and it's just a fabulous message. I love him.
okay, so Parfait's throwing in a t-shirt as well. So our winner this week will get a $50 gift card plus that super awesome Neil deGrasse Tyson t-shirt. So make sure you get your entries in by this Sunday at noon Eastern Standard Time. We'll pick a winner and I'll put up a short to let you know who the lucky person is that gets the $50 gift card and that awesome Neil deGrasse Tyson t-shirt. And remember, in the words of Buddha, 1,000 candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared. So thank you for sharing your time and attention with us here today at Meg's Magical Mansion. Hey, if you had fun, if you learned something, if you were inspired by anything at all, please give us a like. Hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to ring the bell so we can let you know when we post new content. And don't forget to check us out on the Instagram. And we will see you back here next week for more fun and merriment at Meg's Magical Mansion.
I don't know what Meg's doing for the giveaway this week, but I know something that everybody's going to want. A Neil deGrasse Tyson. I was going to say diamond. Okay. I don't know what Meg's doing for the giveaway this week, but I know what I'm throwing in. This fabulous Neil deGrasse diamond shirt.
Nope, Tyson.
Tyson.